Hello everyone, I'm Nate and welcome to the channel. Today we are taking a look at another yo-yo for a review. I know I've done a lot of yo-yo reviews lately and I'm hoping to break some things up, maybe with some beglery content, a few other things. If you're interested in particular content, whether that's skill toys or EDC or pouches or whatever, let me know in the comments. I would be curious what my consistent viewers, subscribers actually want to see. Anyways, let's get into it. So this is from Thesis. All right, this is their newest release. This is their newest bimetal. This is the Aventus, the follow-up to the Invictus. All right, let's get into the Aventus. Hey, before we get into talking about some of the details here, I want to kind of give a little bit of quick note here on their new packaging. Or what's included in the packaging. They've been including the last couple of releases, these pouches here. And what's really nice about these, they're not just your normal sort of slip cases, right? It has, this one's personalized with Aventus on it, and this is Thesis on the other side. They're nice and padded and really, really soft. Kind of like a velvety sort of lining there. Really nice and a little bit padded. They're not gonna protect from the hardest drop, but really nice to kind of keep actually. A lot of the bags that I get from yo-yos are just kind of really simple and they're good for not having scratches and stuff, but I really don't keep them. And I maybe just throw them in a drawer or something. But this one I would keep and I would kind of use consistently. So that's a really nice little touch. All right, but yeah, the Aventus. So this is the follow-up to the Invictus. I have a review on that. I really enjoyed that yo-yo. Really nice budget metal yo-yo from them, mono metal. I think it was a favorite for a lot of people, the Invictus was, for reviewers as well as people on their team and people that are fans of Thesis. But there was some feedback as far as the community. You could always make something better. And so they took some of that feedback and kind of brought that into this bimetal design here. Like I said, it's bimetal. It's really, that's the big thing. It has the same kind of V-ish, V organic-y shape profile, right? I'm considering this more of a V organic, right? Because it's not super sharp, but it is rounded off a little bit, so it's still comfortable on the catch. The one I have here, the colorway, is not blasted, rather. It's glossy, so it's not gonna probably grind amazing or anything like that. It's a lot for looks, more importantly. And it's kind of that rose gold almost, and really fades really well into that stainless steel rings there. There is a slight difference here as far as the hub design. Instead of sunken, it's actually raised. So just a slight difference really. But again, the biggest difference here is going to be the playability and the feel with a bimetal yo-yo, right? So you should expect more spin times, a little more power, and so on. And so again, they took the feedback that they heard from the Invictus and kind of updated that. Instead of changing the monometal design, they just kind of changed the whole design to make it a bimetal. So I think that was really smart, creating a unique yo-yo that's different enough, but still in that sort of related category and fulfilling the purpose of what they wanted. So let's actually go play it, see how it actually plays on the string, and we'll talk about that. All right. Welcome back to the on the string section with the Aventus. It is easy to get those mixed up whenever I've already reviewed the Invictus. I have to keep saying, this is the Aventus, not the Invictus, and so on. But I think I've got it now. As I said, and as you would expect, if I can bind, oh my gosh, there we go. You would expect more power. And right away, this yo-yo definitely has a lot of just pick up and go, right? If I could phrase it like that. It just has a lot, especially out the gate from the first throw. It's kind of deceptive how much gas, how much power you're actually getting. So, really solid throw. You're not really gonna have to throw it very hard to get a decent spin time, right? Which, it's different. It feels different than a lot of bimetals that I've played though, in the sense of power and acceleration, right? It's, I think it has a lot more power and acceleration whenever you first throw it. It lasts, but I feel like for me, if I'm playing a longer combo, which it does do well for, by the way, it can play as long a tricks as you really want. It's going to spin for a long time. But I feel like to have that stability of power and maintain power rather, I feel like I have to throw it pretty hard from the go, right? So I feel like if you throw this yo-yo pretty hard from your first throw, you're going to do okay as far as spin times. Now, as far as like, you know, gap and all that, it's gonna do really well for that. Regens are gonna be okay because it's a V-shaped yo-yo, that kind of stuff. It might be a little bit better because of stability with the bimetal. It actually does okay. Binds are good, okay? So it definitely has a lot of power. That's probably what I would say its main characteristic. But again, it has an interesting, kind of takes some getting used to. I think my first throw with it was like, whoa, I didn't expect it to kind of accelerate that quickly. And so it's not as steady maybe all the way through. It takes some getting used to. It paces differently. It definitely feels completely different than the Invictus does, right? As far as its power, as far as its spin times and even stability, it certainly feels much more performance ready than the other one did. As far as like more like horizontal, it's gonna do really well for that kind of stuff as well, and really exceed for those kind of tricks. So if you're wanting to push this for a more performance focused yo-yo, you certainly could. Like I said though, it did take some getting used to as far as that acceleration, but I'm finding myself kind of wanting to throw it a little bit harder if I want it to kind of flow through. It's not like it's slowing down, but if I want to keep that acceleration, I feel like I have to throw maybe a little harder than I normally would, if that makes sense. So I do like this. I don't know, I like the Invictus, to be honest. There wasn't really much I wanted to change with that, but I like the fact that they kind of heard the feedback a little bit, and instead of, again, adjusting that yo-yo, they created a whole new design with it being bimetal. And I like that approach, I think, to design. It adds something more to the catalog for them as well. I do like this yo-yo. It's not my favorite bimetal from them, but I really do like it. And again, I think if you want something that's gonna have like a lot of power and takes maybe some adjustment, I think it probably depends on your play. If you're one who kind of plays a lot of maybe speed combos and that kind of stuff, and you play pretty fast, I think you'll really like this yo-yo. I don't play that way, so maybe that's what's taking some getting used to. But that's gonna be it for my review of the Aventus from Thesis Yo-Yos. But until the next one, later.